Hello everyone, this is a 13th lecture on hydraulic engineering and machines. We have started unit number 2 and in the last two lectures we discussed transition in channels. Now we come to the fresh topic, that is gradually varied flow. We know that there are two types of non-uniform flow. First is gradually varied flow and second is rapidly varied flow. One by one we will go for the detailed discussion on GVF and RVF. Firstly, let's see what is gradually varied flow. When the depth of flow in a channel changes gradually over a long length of the channel, then that kind of flow is classified as gradually varied flow. The example of gradually varied flow are the backwater produced by a dam or wire across a river and the drawdown produced at a sudden drop in a channel. Okay, these are the few examples of gradually varied flow. In gradually varied flow, the velocity varies along the channel and consequently the bed slope, that is theta, the water surface slope and the energy slope will all differ from each other. Okay, what happens in gradually varied flow, the velocity does not remain constant along the length of the channel, it varies along the length. Okay, so because of this, as in case of uniform flow, the slope of the bed and slope of the water surface are same. Okay, but in this case, the bed slope, the slope of water surface and the slope of energy line all differs each other. The reasons of high curvature are excluded in the analysis of this flow. Okay, we generally neglect the reasons of high curvature in gradually varied flow. The two basic assumptions involved in the analysis of gradually varied flow are: first one is hydrostatic pressure distribution. Okay, here we have to assume the pressure distribution to be hydrostatic. The exclusion of the region of high curvature from the analysis of GVF is only to meet this requirement. If we consider the high curvature of the water surface profile, there we cannot assume pressure distribution to be hydrostatic. So generally we neglect that portion. The second assumption is the Manning's equation is equally applicable for gradually varied flow, but the only change is that Q is equal to 1 by N A R to the power 2 by 3. In case of uniform flow, we use bed slope, but for GVF we use slope of energy line. Okay, that is SE to the power 1 by 2. This is the only change. Now let's see the derivation of differential equation of gradually varied flow. Let's consider a channel with a bed slope S0. At a particular section, the total energy will be capital H is equal to Z plus E or Z plus Y plus V square upon 2G, where E is specific energy and specific energy is Y plus V square upon 2G. Differentiate this equation with respect to X. X is denoting horizontal direction. DH differentiating with respect to X. then this equation will become dH upon dx is equal to dz upon dx plus dy upon dx plus d upon dx v square upon 2g. dH upon dx, what is this? This is the slope of total energy line, and we are looking at this section. Suppose at this section the slope of the energy line is SF, and see here, we know that the total energy with respect to this direction, it decreases. Okay, the total energy decreases in the direction of flow. So when x increases, h decreases. So here we use minus sign. Okay, minus SF is equal to dz upon dx. Here also, as we move in this direction, the value of z decreases. That's why here also we will use minus sign, and the bed slope, and dz upon dx denotes slope of the bed of channel, and it is denoted by S naught, plus dy upon dx plus, what is dy upon dx? This is the slope of the water surface in the channel. D upon dx, v square upon 2g, we can write it q square upon 2g a square. Okay. Now separately solve this differential form of q square upon 2g a square. This is equation number 1. We are taking this portion. Okay, d upon dx is equal to d upon dx q square divided by 2g a square. With the x direction, q square upon 2g is constant, so it will be out of the differentiation. Q square upon 2g, the differentiation of 1 upon a square will be minus 1 upon a cube, and the differentiation of a square will be 2. Differentiation of a is dA upon dy, dy upon dx. Why? Because a is a function of y and y is a function of x. Okay, the depth is varying with respect to x, and the area of flow changes with the depth of flow. dA upon dy is nothing but t, top width. 2 will get cancelled, then ultimately it will become minus q square t divided by ga cube dy upon dx. Now substitute this value of d upon dx q square upon 2g a square in this equation. The equation will become minus sf is equal to minus s naught plus dy upon dx minus q square t divided by ga cube dy upon dx. On rearranging, this equation will be dy upon dx is equal to s naught minus sf divided by 1 minus q square t divided by ga cube. Okay, this is the final differential equation which represent gradually varied flow. Okay, q square t divided by ga cube Okay. We know the Froude number is v square upon v divided by root over gd. F is equal to v divided by root over g a divided by t. D is hydraulic depth. Okay. Or we can write this as v is q upon a. So this is q divided by a root over g a upon t. Do square in both the sides. F square is equal to q square t divided by g a q. Okay, so this is nothing but the square of Froude number. dy upon dx is equal to s naught minus sf divided by 1 minus f square. So this is the differential equation of GVF in terms of Froude number. There are some other forms of gradually varied flow. Other forms of GVF equation. Let's K is a conveyance at any depth y and K naught is the conveyance correspond to the normal depth y naught. Okay. Then K is equal to q divided by root over sf and k naught will be q divided by root over s naught. Okay. This represent the conveyance in case of non-uniform flow or gradually varied flow, and it represent the conveyance in case of uniform flow. In similar way, if z is the section factor at any depth y and zc is the section factor at critical depth yc, then z square will be equal to a cube divided by t. We know what is section factor. Z is equal to a root over a upon t, and the square of this will give you a cube divided by t. In similar way, zc square is equal to ac cube divided by tc. But from the governing equation of critical flow, q square upon g is equal to ac cube divided by tc. So we can substitute the value of ac cube upon tc is equal to q square upon g. Now let's find the ratio of k naught square and k square. This will give you SF divided by S naught. In similar way, ratio of ZC square and Z square will give you Q square T divided by GAQ. Now from the differential equation of GVF, dy upon dx is equal to S naught minus SF divided by 1 minus Q square T divided by GAQ. If we take S naught outside, then it will become 1 minus SF divided by S naught divided by 1 minus Q square T divided by GAQ. Now substitute the value of SF upon S naught and Q square T divided by GAQ. Okay. SF upon S naught is K naught square divided by K square. So S naught 1 minus K naught square divided by K square divided by 1 minus Q square T upon GA cube is ZC square divided by Z square. Okay. So this is the another form of gradually varied flow equation in terms of conveyance and section factor. This form we will use when we go for integration by direct integration method. Okay. Another form of differential equation is dE upon dx is equal to S naught minus SF. Okay, how it comes? Look at this total energy equation and differentiate this with respect to x. H is equal to y plus E. H is equal to z plus E. Differentiate this with respect to H. Differentiate this with respect to x. dH upon dx is equal to dz upon dx plus dE upon dx. dH upon dx is minus SF and dz upon dx is minus S naught plus dE upon dx. So dE upon dx will be equal to S naught minus SF. This is another form of gradually varied flow equation, and this form we will use in the integration of gradually varied flow by numerical methods. Clear?